Today can be the turning point in your life by making a simple decision.
Fundamental questions of navigation. Where am I? Where am I going? And how do I get there from here?
I invite the leaders of our planet to ask themselves these three questions before they make any crucial decisions.
But if you don't make decisions, you're going to stay right where you are.
We are all map makers.
We are in a time of transition.
If we're going to change, we have to change the direction that we're going.
Our planet needs leaders who know where they want to go.
When we change the direction we're going, then we want to make sure we're going in the right direction.
Leaders who can see the big picture.
Because if we're not, we're going to either go backwards or we're going to stay where we are.
Recognizing the psychological and the spiritual shifts and changes that need to be made, often from the inside to the outside.
To be able to shape your future, you have to be willing and able to change your paradigm.
Complex journeys require navigation. The path to the truth is one such journey. This is your GPS. Hairstyling services provided by J.D. Edwards Salon and Spa, Palmdale Shopping Plaza, Madera Street. Accessories provided by Chevette Williamson Jewelry. Standout jewelry for standout women. Global Paradigm Shift on Global 99.5 FM. I am your host, Michelle Malcolm. And as always, it is a pleasure to be in your company today. So before we dive into this conversation today, I have to give you guys a little bit of a backdrop, a backstory to this. So last night, I got a call from a friend in Bimini. Now, you know, those of you who have been following me for a while, you know, I used to work in Bimini for several years. And so a friend of mine from Bimini called last evening. He said, "Hey, Malcolm, how you doing? Just calling to hear your voice." I say, "Hey, what you saying, Tony?" And then he says to me, "You know, you familiar with this Galentine's Day thing?" I say, "No." He say, "Man, I hear them on the news talking about this Galentine's Day thing, and I want you to do a show on that because I trying to figure out what they trying to prove with this Galentine's Day." I said, "What you mean by that?" He says, "Man, I hear them talking about we queens and we this and we the next, and I want to know if this is a man bashing thing." So I said, "Well, Tony, tell you what, I will look at doing a show in the future." And then today, the show that I had planned fell through. So I'm like, all righty then. So perhaps Tony was onto something when he called me last night suggesting that perhaps I should consider doing a show on Galentine's. And so that, at least for the first half hour of the show, and then I want to continue it with the audience, you the audience being the guest, because the guest that has agreed to be a part of this conversation can only give us the first half hour of the show. And it's interesting because I think she was on the news last evening talking about this Galentine's event. And here she is today joining us, and she's going to tell us a little bit more about Galentine's Day. But let's set the stage before we bring Zemi into the conversation for what is Galentine's Day. Because I ain't gonna lie, it was new terminology to me. I kind of behind the eight ball. So let's go to this quick clip, and then we're gonna bring Zemi into the conversation. What is Galentine's Day?
It's called Galentine's Day.
It's Galentine's Day. Did you know that? Galentine's Day.
Galentine's Day, February 13th.
Is it Galentine's?
Happy Galentine's Day.
Galentine's Day is a relatively new holiday. So what are its origins? Believe it or not, it started during a 2010 episode of Parks and Recreation.
What's Galentine's Day? Oh, it's only the best day of the year.
Amy Poehler just talked about it on Jimmy Kimmel.
Are you still celebrating Galentine's Day, the holiday you invented? Is that still a thing?
In fact, I'm having dinner after the show with Rashida Jones and Aubrey Plaza and Catherine Hahn.
Oh, wow.
It's become so popular, you can even buy Galentine's greeting cards.
Women all across the nation are really celebrating Galentine's Day and making it such a part of their year.
I spoke with pop culture expert Sydney Sadek at Moxie Hotel's Magic Hour rooftop bar in New York City, which is hosting a massive Galentine's Day bash tonight. Why is it important for women to celebrate Galentine's Day?
Ultimately, it's really important for women to embrace friendships and to really support each other. And a great way of doing that is to really carve out some quality time.
Happy Galentine's Day!
This was new to me. First, I heard about Galentine's Day was on the news when this young lady who is joining us now came on, and I was like, okay, this is a new thing. Zemi, thank you so much for agreeing to be a part of the show today. Zemi Stewart is our guest today, and am I correct, Zemi, that you are the coordinator of Galentine's Day events here in the Bahamas?
Well, essentially for our women's group, I do coordinate and plan our Galentine's Day event. I'm so happy you preferenced it with that clip. So yes, definitely we do have our third annual Galentine's Day event coming up soon.
So tell me the clip sort of set the stage a little bit for us, but what really is the ultimate goal of celebrating Galentine's Day?
Well, like essentially, like it said, so friendship, community, sisterhood. We are a community of, women across all marital statuses. And I really wanted people to get together to have fun, let your hair down, meet new people, meet like-minded people. And so that was really why we decided to start our very own. The pandemic brought it virtual, so that expanded, the types of women you can meet. So across geographic locations, Canada, US, Caribbean. But really, it's a great time to just be in the room with people who think like you in a certain sense, or, learn from people in various aspects of life, faith, fashion, friendship, fitness, have live entertainment. So we just have fun. Honestly, we just have fun together. There is no male bashing at all. We just have fun. That's pretty much what it's all about.
So obviously there is a reference to Valentine's because it's Galentine's. It's supposed to be February 13th, according to the clip. Mm-hmm. So this is what my friend Tony said to me last night when he called me about this. He said, I don't understand why you have to have a Galentine's Day, because the girls just go hang out on the weekend and they just have a Galentine's Day every weekend. So what's the big deal? What's the big deal? So how would you respond to that?
Well, it's just setting aside a day, like how we like to set it. There's National Ice Cream Day, National Friendship. There's all kind of national days. So it's really setting aside a day where women get together. And actually the episode that you would have viewed that started Galentine's Day, there actually is a National Friendship Day that would probably be better suited. And I think it's later in August. But for some reason, people are like, let's get together for Galentine's Day. And I guess too, because a lot of men, and I'm not going to bash men in any way, but some men don't celebrate Valentine's Day. So you're left to you don't get celebrated at all, or you don't have any fun, and there's so many chocolates and treats and flowers, and you miss all of it. And so why not get together with your girls, keep the same color scheme, add a little pink, have fun, toast to each other, toast to friendship, toast to your success. And I think that's what really came about. Let's celebrate each other, even if we don't get teddies and chocolates from someone. Let's celebrate our love for each other as friends.
Now, I'm glad you said that, because that is going to lead me to my next question, because I can hear people now saying, oh, that's for y'all who ain't got no man. So because you feeling left out, because ain't nobody give you nothing, you decide now y'all gonna have this Galentine's Day thing. How do you respond to that criticism?
Well, I think there's nothing wrong with how people decide to celebrate, with the people they love, whether that's a friend, a boyfriend, husband. I think there's nothing wrong with carving out time to celebrate, whether we put a name on it or not. We have brunch with our friends. It's just another opportunity to have brunch with our friends and have a cute color scheme. Girls like that. And I think men should start to appreciate that. We really do enjoy themes. We do enjoy attention to detail. And that's really all it is, like having time to have fun. And I wish actually men would do it more. So if you want to have a bro talent Valentine's Day, go ahead and have fun. And actually, Valentine's Day this year fell on the Super Bowl. We didn't touch Super Bowl Day with a 10-foot pole. We left it to the men to enjoy, and we decided to delay our celebration. It's actually today, and so we will not touch things that are quote unquote men oriented. But the men have fun and women have fun, and we have fun together. And sometimes we decide to have fun, with our own and learn from each other.
Now, whenever women decide to come together as a group to celebrate each other, there are people who have a problem with that, because there are some who believe that women are already more celebrated than men.
Yeah.
And so, how does this event avoid falling into that trap of here we go again? Like, we don't have enough things that are putting the focus on women. Now you're trying to bring something else to add even more focus on women when our men and boys are being, disenfranchised or ignored or whatever you want to describe what some feel are happening to the male and the man in our society. So what is your approach to this event to make it so that it's not a situation where this is just another opportunity for women to be under the spotlight at the disadvantage of men?
Well, to that I would say, we need more men to raise up and do things that celebrate other men. So if you have women raising up to celebrate women, or women raising up, in my case, to help women who want to be wives, a lot of wives lament that men are not prepared for marriage. A lot of wives lament that there are not organizations that help men. But then when we ask various men, like, why won't you do it? Why won't you do it? No one wants to raise up and do it. And so we get to a space where if women see that there's a need for themselves, they're going to make it happen. And I wish to see it with men. And I will say also that Husband Appreciation Day is April 16th, and we're doing something for Husband Appreciation Day. And so we never tried to leave the men out. Next month for us, our focus is his health. So we never try to leave men out. But at the same time, we're not going to shrink, and we're not going to not celebrate each other just because men aren't doing the same thing. And if a man rises up to say, hey, I want to do something for men, let's have some brotherhood. I think all women would rejoice at that, because we want to see more of that in our communities.
So you said that this is a church initiative?
I have a women's group called Wife Her Ministry. So that stands for Wife Healed, Empowered, Restored. And our Galentine's Day event is birthed out of that.
So this is not necessarily a national event. This is just an event that your organization is holding.
Exactly. I've seen a multitude of various Galentine's events in the Bahamas. Various organizations have their own. I have not seen a national one, which sounds like a great idea, actually. But I've seen like smaller friendship groups host their own Galentine's Day. But by all means, it's just an opportunity for groups of women to, have fun and celebrate. And if men want to do the same thing, even on the same day, no one is stopping them. And we would celebrate that just the same.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. So what are some of the things that you guys do in this celebration, in this event? Tell me what this Galentine's Day thing looks like.
Well, for us, when it was face-to-face, we called it a self-care networking event. And it was face-to-face right before the pandemic. So we had massage chairs where you could get a massage. We had various subject matter experts in social media and finances, so you could go and sit with someone who knows things. We had food. Obviously, we had live entertainment. We had speakers. So, we tried to have multifaceted things so that you could hit all kind of aspects. And women like to shop, so we had an area where you can shop as well. In cyberspace, it's a little different. So last year was a challenge to try to evoke some of that same energy in cyberspace. But we had live performances, we had a speaker, and we had an empowerment segment, and people loved it. They loved the opportunity to come out. We had a live makeup demonstration last year. People loved learning how to, do their makeup. So when they go back to the office, they'll be prepared. And this year, it's similar. We have live entertainment speakers, but what we've added is a networking segment, because the critique last year was, I had such a great time with these people, but I didn't get to meet anyone. It was so much like, back to back on the program. So we added 30 minutes where people can get to know each other. We go in breakout rooms and you get to meet people. And so that's pretty much what it is. It's an opportunity for you to meet people who, may like some of the same things you like, meet new friendships. It's so hard as women to, forge relationships as adults. And so we try to facilitate that as well, to meet new people.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So how does an event like Galentine's Day, how does that benefit society? Like, because I know you only have half an hour to give us today, and I want to open up this conversation for our audience, both on radio and on Facebook and elsewhere, to talk about the male-female dynamic and why we should not be afraid to set aside a time to celebrate males or females as it relates to that dynamic in our society. How does an event like this, in your opinion, benefit society as a whole?
Well, I think if a woman feels refreshed, if a woman feels rejuvenated, then she comes to her family and she presents that same type of attitude. She may be less short with her husband, she may be more patient with her children. And so if you come from a high, like an event like that, and then you're dealing with maybe coming back to a stressful situation, I think your tone and approach will be different. So we have had that happen, and we feel like, and obviously family life has taught us that the family is the basic unit of society. And so we're dealing with women, singles and married women, and even divorcees in our group as well, who just want to come together and they just want to have a little bit of fun. We go back to our stressful environments afterwards. How do we help? We also, within the speaker segments, we provide great information across, various fields. Like I said, we have fitness, fashion, family, friendship, faith. And so like you can glean from someone in the room who, may be more advanced than you and ask them questions. And so I think, whatever opportunity we get to let our hair down, to de-stress is so important. We have gone through the most traumatic experience of our lives over the past 2 years in the pandemic. So whatever gives us a little bit of a mental break, I feel like that should be welcomed and appreciated. And I know that husbands benefit from, what we do as a community. We have incredible resources for people. Last month, we had a whole month focusing on sex and intimacy. I got so many messages from wives and husbands saying how, their marriage was impacted positively from what we do. So by all means, we love to see people thrive. We love to see husbands be all that they need to be, men be all that they need to be. And so it's just a little bit of time for us. Nothing wrong with that. And I think Jen should also, appreciate that and value that. Sometimes she needs to let her hair down. Sometimes she needs to, step away from everything. Sometimes I need to watch the kids. Sometimes I need to give her a break and just let her have fun, because that's best for the relationship. That's healthy.
So Siobhan says on our Facebook page, I would feel that there should be a Valentine's Day celebrating self. No one should wait, I guess she meant to say, for others to show them love. I believe in loving yourself first. How do you respond to that?
I feel like that should be every day. And in fact, even this week, I am a part of a self-love challenge. I think I've seen so many challenges about self-love. So it's out there, people. Like, you just have to go. If you put the hashtag in and you find it, I'm sure you'll find anything that you're looking for. It exists. Self-love challenges, self-love conferences, they exist to teach people how to build their confidence, to teach them how to talk softer to themselves, to think positive thoughts. Like, it exists, and it should be a part of your day-to-day.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely.
And she also says, and that's why I asked the question earlier about whether or not this was a church organization. She said, I think we need to move away from all these traditional and pagan holidays. Just live, love, and laugh. How do you marry the fact that this is a Christian group with what you're doing?
Well, it is one of our more secular events. I will say that, because I celebrate our birthday with an annual conference, and that's prayer and fasting throughout the week. So it is one of our more secular events. But I also want to give the message that faith-filled women have fun too. We can have fun as well. We can have conversations. We're nice people as well. We're down-to-earth people as well. And so we have opportunities where we can have fun. And I think people need to know that, Christianity isn't boring, that, we could get together and laugh, make jokes, have fun. And I think that's really what we present as well, to show people that it is possible to have fun as a Christian woman. So definitely that is something that we represent big time.
And how do the men in your fellowship respond to this, and your pastor especially?
What do you mean?
How do they support you guys 100%? Are they like, yeah, go for it? Do some of them have some kind of reservations about this celebration?
I think if we brought some aspects of the celebration in church, like if it was on church grounds, maybe not, because we do have some secular music. Okay. Exactly. So, obviously we'd be appropriate there. Like NDRE or Christine Aguilera, Beautiful. Like, if you sing any songs like that, obviously, like, they are secular. They may not promote like things that are derogatory or have cursing, right, but they are secular based. Right. My husband is very supportive. He thinks it's a great initiative. He's behind me 100%. So, and I think other husbands as well. I've never heard any backlash from husbands who say, "Oh, my wife was on there for 3 hours and no, I've never heard that." So, I mean, I feel like, we teach women to work on yourself, to make sure that you're good, so that you can pour from a full cup. We don't teach them to point their fingers at their husbands. You cannot change him. You can work on changing yourself. And you need to be able to relax and de-stress. And you need to know how to healthily manage your emotions. You need to take time to rest and refresh. And we provide opportunities for that, as well as opportunities to learn various things. So never heard any negative feedback. I know it's a difficult concept to grasp because for some people, Galentine's Day is new, but it's been around for a long time. And I think it's going to continue to go on, and just start to view it as a way for women to celebrate friendship. It's not bashing. It's coming together and just laughing, having fun. We put a cute theme on it so we could wear pink, red, orange, white. But other than that, it's just another day.
Fantastic. So obviously this is not only for married women, but for singles as well. So tell us, where can they get more information about the event, or, where, if they want to be a part of this, what do they do?
So we're on social media at Wife Her Ministry across all platforms. And then for the event itself, it's called Galentine Vibes. So galentinevibes.eventbrite.com, and you'll see all the event details are available.
Okay, so if they want to be a part of it, they just log on there, and you guys welcome them.
That's it. Yep. Yeah, ministry wise, if they want to follow the community, yes, definitely, we welcome you in. If you're a male and you have more questions about it, you can feel free to, send me a message, Zemi Stewart, ZEMISTEWART, and I could give you some more information as well. But definitely, we are, happy to have anyone, and happy to help people learn more about us.
Is there some kind of payment involved, or cost, or anything like that, or this is open to the public?
The event itself is $40, and you get $10 off with code Chantel, because we do have Miss Universe Chantel O'Brien speaking tonight. So yeah, we $30 with a discount.
Well, this is, I know it's now that I've done a little bit of research on it, I realize it's been around for a couple of years. I guess I'm behind the 8 ball, because the first time I heard about it was on the news last night, and then ironically Tony called me, and he had he was feeling some kind of way. I ain't gonna lie. He was feeling some kind of way. He was like, well, what is this, Malcolm? I said, I'm not familiar with this. He says, they could go on the weekend and celebrate. I don't understand why they gotta make it a big deal. And it's like, I said, okay. So here we are today discussing this. Well, I wish you all the best with it. Any thoughts that you want to express that we may not have covered in the interview about why this is not just a fun thing, but a necessary thing?
Yeah, I mean, I would say for you also, next year, if you want to have a Galentine's episode, go ahead, bring your best friends from childhood, adulthood, and talk about friendship and navigating adult relationships. And I think, just have fun with it. It's a theme. We didn't set it up. It's, American based, and we just ride the wave and have fun riding the wave. And to everyone else listening, really celebrate your friendships. It's been hard. A lot of people aren't saying what they're going through necessarily. Even people who are strong and who you think may have it all together, they're dealing with a lot of stuff. So make sure you reach out and be a good friend, and really audit your friendships as well. So that would be my takeaway. Thank you so much for having me. Thank you for being open-minded about Galentine's Day. And I hope other people will be inspired to really celebrate the gift of friendship.
Yeah, I'm sorry we weren't able to get to you sooner, so we could have coordinated to have you on for longer. But I do appreciate you coming on, at this late request. So I know you got to go get ready for your event, and I want to say thank you so much for being here today and helping us to break this down. And for the rest of the show, guys, those are guys and gals out there listening, I want us to talk about the dynamic between the male and female relationship, because persons in I have to tell you, as a single woman, society puts a lot of pressure on women, particularly around the time of Valentine's Day. It is often a very sad day for single women, because they feel like, all around them, women are celebrating, they're receiving these gifts. I saw a video that's been making the rounds of some woman who jacked up some guy's car because he didn't send her anything for Valentine's Day, and so she messed up the car. And it's like, this is absolute madness. Now, Zemi had to leave because she had another appointment for 2:30. So thank you, Zemi, for being here. But this is the kind of pressure that that is put on females, especially. I don't know how males respond to Valentine's and whether or not it's as big a deal for the male as it is for the female, to the pressure that's put on you to be in a relationship or it's just so crazy. And people, women especially, do crazy things sometimes because of that pressure. And, the thing is, the older you get, I think, at least speaking for myself, the less that matters. But I have to tell you that, especially for me, the age of 30 was that line in the sand where I started to freak out and do stupid things. Oh my God, I'm turning 30. Oh my God, I look back at that now and I'm like, girl, I wish Michelle today could speak to Michelle when she was turning 30 and tell her it ain't that serious. Relax. But society puts so much pressure on you that people tend to do strange things when they're getting older, and their life, they're not achieving the same things that they see people around them achieving for whatever reason, whether it be a relationship or getting married or whatever. But it's just so unfortunate that society puts so much pressure on single people. And I'm at the point in my life now where I'm like, I talk to single people all the time who are going through this, and I'm like, listen, girl, take it from me. It ain't that serious. Take that pressure off of yourself, because there are a lot of people right now who are living in relationships that are less than ideal, who catch an eternal hell and call it a good time because they fell into the trap of that pressure. So I want to talk about the male-female dynamic. Like I said, Zemi had to leave. She could only give us the first half hour, and I appreciate her and say thank you, Zemi, for doing that. And so we've got to, the rest of the time, I want to focus on that dynamic and what we need to do as a society to help people to understand that you have value and worth within yourself, that you don't have to be in a relationship, especially a bad one, because you're not enough. People need to understand that you are enough. I often have to tell young ladies who come through the Miss Bahamas organization system, you are enough. You are enough. So let's talk about that today. The telephone lines to call, 326-0271, 326-0271, or 326-0272, 326-0272, and the WhatsApp number, 824-9952, 824-9952. This is GPS, Global Paradigm Shift, on Global 99.5 FM. Michelle Malcolm in your company. We're going to talk more about this on the other side of the break. Stay with us.
Understanding your microbiome, also known as your gut ecosystem, can change everything you thought you knew about nutrition, digestion, immunity, and metabolism. Keeping your gut ecosystem healthy and balanced is essential. Ultimate Microbiome by Longevity was specifically formulated to optimize this ecosystem. It provides the advanced support your gut needs through prebiotic, probiotic, and postbiotic supplementation. Our unique blend of probiotics includes Lactobacillus and Plantarum, healthy bacteria that can help prevent harmful bacteria from taking over your gut. Increasing your gut's population of beneficial bacteria creates a more balanced gut microbiome, which has been shown to aid in weight loss, skin health, sleep, mood, and may even help with seasonal allergies. Ultimate Microbiome also promotes the production of postbiotics. Postbiotics are key to help regulate your gastrointestinal health. To enhance digestion, Digizyme Multi-Enzyme Complex, a blend of 5 specific enzymes, has been added to Ultimate Microbiome. It can help break down food so your body can better absorb nutrients. Plus, we've added our proprietary I-26 Hyperimmune Egg Powder to aid in the elimination of disease-causing gut bacteria and help your body balance its immune response. Ultimate Microbiome, the scientific, proprietary, and holistic approach to gut health that helps optimize your body's entire gut ecosystem. To learn more, contact your longevity associate.
Welcome to Sunshine Auto, the hardest place on the planet for rims, tints, and tires.
We are your auto superstore for rims, Lexani, Azaras, Trueform, Western, Lux, Fuel, Tracklight, Tough, Rough Racing, Velocity, Mud, All-Terrain, and low-profile tires. Cars, homes, and commercial window tinting. At Sunshine Auto, we put God first and customer is king.
Blessed love.
To stay healthy, it's crucial to make sure you get the nutrition you need every day. But it's difficult to get all your recommended vitamins and minerals from food alone. Even in the United States, 94% of people are deficient in at least one nutrient. Beyond Tangy Tangerine 2.0 by Longevity is a simple, convenient, and affordable way to help your body get the essential nutrients it needs. It's an advanced plant-driven multivitamin mineral complex that contains certified organic whole foods, trace minerals, and antioxidants. BTT 2.0 supports your body's natural defense system with a proprietary blend of energy-boosting and body-loving nutrients, plus prebiotics, probiotics, amino acids, and enzymes that support digestion. With an unusually high ORAC score of 8,000, you get even more antioxidants to help combat free radicals that can cause damage to your cells. But to get the most benefit and value from any multivitamin, your body must be able to break down the nutrients so you can fully absorb them. Otherwise, they'll just pass through your system without doing any good. Beyond Tangy Tangerine 2.0 was specially formulated with synergizing cofactors to ensure you get maximum nutrient absorption. Beyond Tangy Tangerine 2.0 is the easiest way to give your body the balance and complete daily vitamin mineral supplement it needs for optimal support of your overall health. To learn more, contact your longevity associate.
This portion of GPS is brought to you by Tiki Bikini Hut at Junkanoo Beach. Great food, cool tropical drinks, and family fun in the sun. Welcome back to GPS Global Paradigm Shift on Global 99.5 FM. I'm your host, Michelle Malcolm. And as always, it's a pleasure to be in your company. So today we're talking Galentine's Day. And I want to go beyond just that day and talk about the importance of understanding that it's okay to celebrate yourself. It's okay to celebrate your friends, because there's nothing wrong with saying, I appreciate you, whether that be saying it to yourself or saying it to the girlfriends that you hang out with. Does this mean that men should feel some kind of way that women are celebrating this way? I want to talk about it, and I want to hear from you. The telephone lines to call 326-0271, 326-0271, 326-0271, or 326-0272, 326-0272. 326-0272, and our WhatsApp line is 824-9952, 824-9952. So let me just again give you a little bit of background, because again, this was new for me as well. I really didn't, I've never heard about this before. So February truly is considered to be the month of love. And we covered Valentine's Day at length on February 14th. Usually February 13th, the day before Valentine's Day, is the day that is set aside to celebrate Galentine's Day. Now, Zemi and her team made a wise decision, because this year the Super Bowl fell on February 13th, and ain't nobody was going to be on their run. So they decided that as opposed to having their event on February 13th to celebrate their girlfriends, they postponed it until today. So February 13th is usually when this is held, and apparently it's been held for several years now. And the idea is that while we are quick to shower our significant others with gifts and treats on February 14th, the day prior was designed to celebrate other equally important relationships in our lives, meaning our girlfriends. Galentine's Day is a time to bring together the ladies that you love the most. Now, what does this mean? Does it mean that you love the men in your life any less? I don't think so. I believe it's just an opportunity to celebrate your friends. And but my friend Tony, he took exception and he was like, I don't understand. They're talking about we're queens and all this kind of stuff. You see, a part of the problem is this. I think that because our society, in many ways, we are a very misogynistic society. And I think a part of the problem is that there's a lot of anger that men have towards women because, and this is just my theory, we have a lot of, I think, what, more than 70% of the households in the Bahamas are headed by women, single women. And so if you have a boy growing up in that house, he's being raised by a single woman. Not to say that a man can't be in his life or his father isn't in his life, but 70% of the households in this country are headed by women. And then you go to school, and chances are the teacher in the classroom is a woman. And he is surrounded by women telling him what to do. Now, what we need to realize is that we were all born with this spirit of wanting to be in control of our own destiny, and for the male, um, that spirit within them of leadership is often challenged. For many men, they've told me this, when they are being told what to do by a woman. I'm not saying it's right or wrong, but this is the reality. And so when we have the society when women decide to celebrate each other or to have an event like this, sometimes people take it some kind of way, because it's like, I actually had somebody say to me once before, what more y'all women want? When I was doing, I think I was doing a show on equity for males and females. And he was like, what more y'all want? And I said, I don't understand what you're saying. And he was like, y'all in charge of every office you go into, you're in charge of this, you're in charge of the next. What more y'all want? What more y'all want? And I was like, wow, that's deep, because there is this inequity, whether we want to acknowledge it or not. There is still inequity between men and women. And in our society, that is often, what's the word I'm looking for? It's so ingrained in the difference in the way we raise our boys from how we raise our girls. And so even though women have achieved, many things in our society, it still does not mean that there is equity. But there seems to be a lot of anger. And so when you're hearing about a Galentine's Day where we celebrating our gals, some people have an issue with that. Galentine's Day was the creation of, as we would have heard in the clip in the first portion of the show, it was the creation of the beloved fictional deputy director of Parks and Recreation in Pawnee, Indiana, whose name was Leslie Knope. And the show's writers centered the 16th episode of the second season of Parks and Recreation around Leslie's favorite February tradition, Galentine's Day. So it was actually, that's the first time that this concept emerged to the forefront. And over a brunch of waffles and excessive gift giving, Leslie celebrated the joy of her female friendships with close friends and co-workers, and thus began this tradition of Galentine's Day. So what was previously an unknown and unofficial holiday immediately skyrocketed in popularity, so much so that businesses have been creating Galentine's Day promotions in honor of the celebration. Special happy hours are held, group spa discounts. It's become big business. Brunch deals, popular ways to honor the occasion, the greeting card business, and the once fictional holiday is said to have filled a void in the Valentine's Day market that left single women feeling alienated by the pomp and circumstance of the lovers' holiday. So the holiday that was invented on the TV show bears striking similarities to the character on that show, who was over the top generosity and generous and impassioned sincerity. And Galentine's Day is to Valentine's Day what Friendsgiving is to Thanksgiving. A chance to recognize the impact that our friends have on our lives and to thank them for their steadfast loyalty, love, and laughter. That's the whole idea behind this celebration. And so this is something that has taken off. Apparently, it's not just celebrated in the United States. As we see, it's also being celebrated here in the Bahamas, and it's celebrated around the world. Not just Valentine's Day is not the only day to celebrate love, but Galentine's Day has become a holiday celebration around the world that, gals or women celebrate their own special friendship and love in their own way. So around the world, in Finland, they celebrate theirs on Valentine's Day as well, February 14th. And theirs takes on a more platonic take on love and friendship. The day is for both friends and lovers in Finland. In Wales, they celebrate on January 25th, and on this day, they have uniquely handcrafted wooden spoons that are exchanged. In China, the celebration is November 11th, and it's a celebration of the greatest form of love, self-love, with a lot of retail therapy. And in Brazil, June 12th is the day. It's a day celebrated with great enthusiasm. And in Spain, on October 9th is the day. And this is a day of love and celebration of making figurines from marzipan called macadora. Okay, so Galentine's Day traditions. Traditions include whether it be with your sister or mother or friend. Female friendships obviously play a very important role in the female life. And to be honest, there is truly nothing like having a good girlfriend. And women like to hang out. They like to talk. They like to share secrets, create memories, and all, come together for any opportunity that we can. And so why not have a specific tradition for this specific day? And so it's a time when women, head to their favorite cafe or, spend an afternoon at the spa with just a girls spa day, or just hang out and watch a movie together, a girl flick. But it's an opportunity for women to celebrate their friendship. Stats about Galentine's Day around the world, listen to this now, 4.98 million household viewers watched that Galentine's Day episode. 4.98 million. According to Nielsen Media Research, that episode, Galentine's Day of Parks and Recreation, in the show's second season, garnered nearly 5 million viewers, marking it an important and a big improvement for ratings in the series. 548,000 Instagram posts. If you search hashtag Galentine's Day on the social media platform, you'll find over 500,000 posts of women celebrating other women in honor of Galentine's Day. 66% of women buying non-romantic gifts in February. That's what Galentine's Day accounts for. Where sales for Valentine's Day specifically are trending downwards, Hallmark found that nearly 2/3 of women who were purchasing cards around Valentine's Day were doing so for non-romantic relationships, including friends and family. And this prompted the brand to release a line of Galentine's Day cards and others around platonic relationships. All right. So 60% of women realize that their current best friend will be their BFF, best friends forever, will be their life forever. 60% of millennials say they would rather be trapped in quarantine with their closest female friend than a romantic partner. That's interesting. 70% of females consider their female friends as a family member. So you're talking about really close bonds here. And this is not something that I think should be trivialized, because friendships are especially important, like I said, to women. If you get yourself a good friend, a good girlfriend that you can trust, there's nothing like it. Sorry, guys. Nothing against y'all and nothing against relationships with men. But you find yourself a good girlfriend and you have found something or someone that will be a part of your life forever, that will be a blessing to your life forever. Now, that being said, not all girlfriends are created equal, but but you get yourself a good one, and that's for life. But what does this all say as it relates to the relationship between men and women, the dynamic that we are experiencing in our country between men and women? Because I dare say that the incidences of violence against women it's out of hand. It's getting to be really ridiculous now. And we have to get to the point where we need to teach our boys who become men that a woman is not for you to abuse. A woman, you don't have physical strength so that you can overpower a woman or abuse a woman. No, we need to, and it's something that needs to be taught from their boys, because by the time you become a man, it's a lot easier to mold a boy than to to try to break a cycle or something that a man has been his entire life. I remember once there was a conversation I overheard, and it really broke my heart as a young woman when I heard this young man say this. He actually said that I think he didn't have a father in the home, so he learned what he needed to learn from women on the streets. This is what he said. He said, and what he learned about women is that they're like a can of soda. So I said, what you mean by that? So he said, you suck all the sweetness out of them, and then when you suck all the sweetness out, you throw them away. And I was like, wow. How many young women is he going to go with that approach to, as he said, suck all the sweetness out of them, and then when he finished, throw the can away? That's scary. But this is the way that some people are thinking out there. And this is why, I think we as a nation, we need to spend more time, energy, and even finances on dealing with this imbalance and this dynamic between the male and female in the Bahamas. And if it means starting with and it's a celebration like Galentine's Day, maybe this is something that is absolutely necessary. But we have to find a way to address the elephant in the room. You look at countries like Barbados, where Mia Mottley is doing so well as the leader of that country, and there are other countries around the world where women are leading. And yet I've heard time and time again here in the Bahamas, oh, we'll never have a female prime minister. No, women, you're already, you're already in charge of this and you're already in charge of that. Or like the guy said who called my show that one time, what more you all want? So yeah, guys, let's talk about this. Again, the telephone numbers to call 326-0271, 326-0271, 326-0271, or 326-0272, 326-0272, 326-0272, and the WhatsApp number to send us a message, 824-9952, 824-9952. I'd like to hear your thoughts on this. What do you believe we need to do to improve that relationship and help people to understand that even if you're not in a relationship, you're not any less important, you're not any less special just because you didn't receive flowers and chocolates on Valentine's Day? A lot of it has to do with self-love. But I want to hear your thoughts on this, because I believe that the first love that you need to have is yourself. If you don't love yourself, you can't love anybody else. Not truly. Is that a caller for the show? We have a call on the line. Caller, welcome to GPS.
Good afternoon.
Hi.
Hi. Yeah, I was listening to your talk show, and I sympathize and fully understand where most of our culture, as far as like you say, men using their strength to abuse women.
Mm-hmm.
but we can't necessarily put all the blame on the men because I have nieces, I have sisters, I have a lot of cousins, women family, and I always tell them, if you don't want nothing to do with the man, don't take nothing from him. Every time you would hear about an abuse situation or any type of violence against a woman, you check that story out from the beginning to the end. The first thing the man would say, I give her this and I give her that, and she still won't do this and she still won't do that. If you aren't ready for a monogamous relationship with a person, don't take nothing from him. Absolutely nothing. And he'd have no reason to come and use what you call his physical strength against you.
I don't know if I agree with that, sir. Because some people, some situations are they ain't like he giving her nothing, but he's still beating up on her. You know, and if you give me a gift, does that mean that you then own me because you made a decision to give me a gift?
Well, everybody knows that nothing is for nothing in life is free. And if a man chooses to give you anything, it comes with attachments. It always comes with attachments. Anybody who believes differently, I would consider them a fool. Trust me when I tell you that. If a man give you something he's not related to you, and you don't think that he's expecting something in return, then you are considered a fool. Men, people don't give people things to them. Everything comes with an attachment. Everything. Everything comes with an attachment. And if we lived by that, trust me, we'd have a lot less violence in this country and a lot less domestic situations.
I don't think that is I hear what you're saying, but here's the thing. You may say, well, he gave her something, so he's expecting something. But it's not like men do not receive things from women as well. And when I say things, I'm not necessarily talking about a gift. I'm talking about intangible things. So it's a two-way street. The problem that I have in what you just said is that you are expecting. You made a decision to give me a gift. You made a decision. But if I don't respond in the way you want me to respond after you gave me that gift, then you have the right to do what you want to do to me because you expecting something in return. Help me understand that.
Well, see, to understand that, we'd have to go back to the beginning of the Bible. And I don't know if I'm qualified to quote or relate the Bible in that way. But I personally feel, and in fact, I know for a fact that if I'm interested in a woman and she asks me for something, if I'm interested in her sexually and she asks me for something, I'm expecting something in return. If she knows fully well that she's not interested in me in that way, it is up to her to say, listen, I'm accepting this from you, but I don't see you like that. And let me make the decision whether I want to continue with the gift giving or whatever the case may be. It bothers me how a woman would discount what a man does, and then whatever she does after that becomes the greatest thing in the world. It really bothers me that and this is what we try to teach our society at large. Nothing in life is for free. Anything that you get in life, it comes with some sort of attachment. And if you don't want something to do with somebody, then don't take anything from them, gift or not. Because you're leading them on, whether you believe it or not. You're leading a person on to take something from them and then don't expect them to expect something in return.
I'm glad you called because it's interesting to hear the male perspective on this topic. And I would like to hear from some women to call in just to hear what you have to say in relation to what he just said.
I listen.
Thank you so much for calling. I believe obviously I knew that would set off the phones. Obviously, I'm coming from a female perspective, right? And listen, I'm not saying that there's some people out there, females out there, who aren't just taking whatever they could take and taking from several different people. I'm not talking about that. But what I am saying is this. As a female, if you decide that you want to give me a gift, no, that's not a call for the show. Okay. If you decide you want to give me a gift, right? I ask you for nothing. You make up your mind. You decide, I want to buy this for Michelle. I want to do this for Michelle. And what you're saying to me is that if I know that I am not interested in you romantically, I should not accept that gift because you expecting something back in return. Now, you would call somebody a prostitute if they go and they get money in exchange for sex. That's what a prostitution is. But yet you're saying to me that if I accept this gift from you, then you expecting that, or you expecting something in return. So what is the difference between what you are describing and prostitution? To me, if you're giving me something, you need to be giving me that from the goodness of your heart, not because you think you can get something back from me. Otherwise, keep that. But don't make a decision that you want to give me a gift, and if I don't respond the way you want me to respond, then you have a problem because I should have known that you giving me this gift, you expecting something in return. I see that's a dangerous position to take, because this is why I believe that I mean, you know, some and I'm not trying to generalize, but you do have a problem in the society where they believe once they have done for you or given you this or whatever, they own you. Own, like I own a car or I own my clothes. You are possession to them. And you see that is very dangerous. That is very dangerous, because now you figure, and I've heard that before, you know. I don't remember the name of the gentleman, the gentleman who brutally murdered a woman. And he said, you know, all these things what I done do for this woman, and she had the nerve to do this to me. And I'm like, wow. So you thought you owned her. You make a decision to do these things for this woman. You decide that. But when she decides that she wants to do something else, you figure you have a right to take her life because all them things you don't do for her, and she got the nerve. Help me out. I got a problem with that. I'm not saying it's easy. I'm not saying it's pleasant, but if that's a decision that you made, you make that decision to get these women these things. You make that decision. So, you know, we got to be careful with this, because when people get to the point where they think that you are a possession, that they have a right because they gave you whatever, that's a dangerous place to be. I would love to hear from you ladies on this, and other men as well. The numbers to call 326-0271, 326-0271, or 326-0272, 326-0272, or 824-9952, which is the WhatsApp number. So Charmaine says, mentally damaged society. It's a serious thing. This is, and I'm glad he called, because that would help us to understand how some of these men thinking. Gleaston, if you are looking for a husband or a boyfriend? I don't understand the question, Gleaston. Bertha says, ain't no difference, suck my teeth. And I think Bertha was referring to the whole thing about prostitution. This whole conversation began because we started the show by talking about Galentine's Day and women celebrating their friendships with women. But some people have an issue with that. Some people think that this is just another way for y'all to put the attention on the woman as opposed to, or at the expense of the man in our society. And I'm wondering, why is it that we have such a problem with the attitudes towards women in this country? Is that a call for the show? No. Okay, so the numbers to call, I'm going to take a break. The numbers to call, 326-0271, 326-0271, 326-0272, 326-0272, or 824-9952 is the WhatsApp number. Do you have a problem with women coming together to celebrate their friendships with each other? No boys allowed. Is this a problem for you? Do you think it's just another excuse, another way for women to sort of push men to the side? What are your thoughts? Let's hear from you. We're going to take a break, and we'll be back after these words from our sponsors.
Your body's immune system is under constant pressure from things like stress, lack of exercise, and toxins in the environment. It's crucial to be proactive and support your immune system with the nutrients it needs to function effectively. But it's often hard to get these nutrients from food alone. Introducing fast-acting Zinc Plus Immune Support by Longevity. Unlike zinc-only supplements, Zinc Plus Immune Support builds on the proven power of zinc and adds complementary nutrients to give your immune system extra support. Vitamin D helps balance the effects of zinc, while our proprietary blend of natural fruit and root extracts provides the extra help your immune system needs to work against daily stressors. And we've included Longevity's exclusive plant-derived minerals to give your body the minerals it needs, but can't get from food alone. And because Zinc Plus Immune Support is delivered in a great-tasting, sugar-free, berry-flavored lozenge, it encourages quicker absorption of all these nutrients into your body. Zinc Plus Immune Support. Zinc plus the extra support your body needs to promote a healthy immune system. To learn more, contact your Longevity associate.
Welcome to Sunshine Auto, the hardest place on the planet for rims, paints, and tires.
We are your auto superstore for rims, Lexani, Azaras, Trueform, Western, Lux, Fuel, Tracklight, Tough, Rough Racing, Velocity, Mud, All-Terrain, and low-profile tires. Cars, homes, and commercial window tinting. At Sunshine Auto, we put God first and customer is king.
Blessed love.
It's gotten harder and harder to get your daily requirement of vital nutrients from food alone. Without additional vitamin and nutrient support, your health and well-being can suffer drastically. That's why Z-Radical was specifically formulated. It combines a blend of antioxidant-rich vitamins, minerals, and botanicals with the protective powers of fucoidan to help fill the gaps from lack of nutrients in your foods. The core of Z-Radical is fucoidan, a naturally occurring polysaccharide that helps stimulate immune reaction, protecting you against inflammation and oxidative stress. We harvest this powerful mineral-rich nutrient from brown seaweed, harvested only from the world's most pristine ocean waters to ensure the purest quality. It's then extracted using cold process technology to ensure maximum levels of bioavailability. Then we add essential vitamins that help to protect your cardiovascular and nervous systems and are crucial for optimal immune and neurological function. Z-Radical also includes a proprietary blend of delicious antioxidant-rich fruits and berries. This great-tasting combination helps your body combat free radical imbalances that can contribute to a variety of degenerative conditions like arthritis and heart disease. Z-Radical. Experience the power of fucoidan with antioxidant-rich berries, 8 essential vitamins, and more to provide you with potent health benefits. To learn more, contact your Longevity associate.
Welcome back to GPS Global Paradigm Shift on Global 99.5 FM. Michelle Malcolm in your company. And we started the show today talking about Galentine's Day and what it means and why it's celebrated. Women coming together to celebrate their friendships with each other. No boys allowed. And our guest who is planning a Galentine's Day was only able to give us the first half hour of the show. So I thought we would open it up today to hear from you guys about what are your thoughts on this celebration of Galentine's Day as it relates to the dynamic between the male and female relationships in the Bahamas, because as we would have heard from that caller just now, we have some thoughts that aren't in line with what others think. We have some people who believe that men. I try not to paraphrase this. I don't want to put words in his mouth. But as a woman, you should know that if you're receiving gifts from a man, that he wants something in return. And I'm glad he called and said it because we need to hear this. Telephone numbers to call 326-0271. 326-0271. That caller who was trying to call a couple of times, you need to call back now. 326-0271 and 326-0272. 326-0272 or 824-9952, which is the WhatsApp number, 824-9952. Do you have a problem with women celebrating themselves, women celebrating their friendships? And if you do, why? And it's interesting, because if you go to YouTube and you type in Galentine's Day, all kind of videos come up. And I've seen a couple saying this is a dangerous practice. And I'm like, wow, okay, why is this a dangerous practice? Why is it a problem for women to celebrate their friendships? Let's go to the phone lines. Caller, welcome to GPS.
Good afternoon. Thank you so much. I was listening with interest to the topic this afternoon,
Mm-hmm.
and I listened with care to the male caller a while ago.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's trying to make a general point. It's a point that I train my daughters or girl friends. Be careful how you accept gifts, because what he is saying, see, men and women are different.
Very much so.
And so the man takes it as a lead. If a man gives me, and we don't really have a relationship, and he's buying me a diamond bracelet, I am trained to decline that bracelet. I am trained to say that I'm sorry, I cannot accept this bracelet. It's too extravagant. We don't have that type of relationship for me to accept such an extravagant gift.
Mm-hmm.
I was taught not to let a man pay my rent or buy the car that I drive, because he could take the key from my apartment and he could stop me on the road because he was jealous and saw me talking to someone else and take the car from me.
Mm-hmm.
So that is called female independence. Now, I'm not saying you don't accept gifts. I'm saying if a relationship is going somewhere, yes, that's part and the joy of a relationship. But my father told me at age 8 years old, when a young man stepped up to the door, knocked, and gave me a mango. My father allowed me to accept the mango. He called me to his chair, and I wasn't frightened. He was very careful. He said, "You see that mango in your hand? You did not just accept that mango from that young man." And I'm wondering, what is he saying? Because I just accepted it. He said, "You see, I allowed you to accept it. Now that you have accepted the mango, you let that be the last thing in life you accept from a man, because a man wants payment." And he was not a stupid man. He was an educator. He was a business executive. A man I truly respected then and respect now. So I'm thinking the point he is making is that somehow when we do these things and women accept certain types of gifts, it leads him on. He makes him think he's making headway. And so we have to be careful about leading on. I tell my grandgirls now, I have grandgirls, I tell them that, be careful. I see them with a little gift. I say, whoa, 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 even though it's a box of chocolate, maybe that's trivial. Not chocolate is trivial. So I think they need to just manage what gift it is. And I'm not going to allow a man to build me a house. Yes, he has great expectation of me. And some men have different stress levels, so brought up differently, and yes, they will kill you. Some men. I'm not saying it's right, but we have to accept the psychology of a man. And we have to be guided accordingly as women and know that there are certain types of gifts, a level of gifts that we ought not to accept. And that is just my 2 cents in listening to the show, because I see it sometimes happening, and I think we women have to be careful about leading on it. It's a silent communication. Yes, I'm liking what you're giving me. Yes, I'm liking you. It's a silent communication, even though women may not think that way, but that's the way men think. And we have to learn both sides of it. That's my 2 cents. Thank you.
Thank you so much for calling, and I'm glad you called with that perspective. Bertha says this is powerful. Clearly, men and women are very different. There's some great books out there that sort of try to describe the difference between the two. It would be helpful to read up as much as you can to understand that we are very different and we think differently. And boy, I don't know. I hear what you're saying, and I accept what you're saying. I don't want you to think that because I'm coming with the narrative that I am, that I don't agree with what you're saying, because I've seen it time and time again, where a man has invested so much of his money into buying women gifts or buying a woman gifts, and then when she decides she won't move on, he flip out because he's like, "Oh, all the money I didn't spend on you," and I'm like, wow. the thing is, I think we need to understand that in any kind of relationship, you're taking a risk going into that, and there's no guarantee that it's going to work out. And so men might want to keep that in the back of their mind as they go into the store and buying all these gifts. That does not guarantee that things are going to work out. And I think it was on our show on Valentine's Day that Barrington Brennan said it, that in the Bible, we were given dominion over the fish, the birds, everything else, but each other. There's no place in the Bible where it says that one human being has dominion over another. And that's for a reason. So don't think you own anybody. And it might be hurtful that she wasn't raised in the same household that our last caller was raised in, to know that you shouldn't accept these gifts from this person if you don't intend to move forward with them. But don't think that because you bought those gifts, you own her. It don't work like that. It does not. And this is why we're seeing so many, I think one of the components of why we're seeing so much violence against women in our society, because men are very, very, very angry. And a lot of men believe that women are already receiving all of the accolades and all of the positions and all the promotions. And like the gentleman said to me, what more y'all want? I couldn't believe he said that. What more y'all want? You already, every office you go into, a woman in charge. What more y'all want? But we got to fix the problem, though, because we are seeing it escalate to the point now where women are losing their lives. And I am not in any way suggesting that in the incidences where that has happened, that is the general perception of men, because clearly those men who were involved in those situations were mentally, not balanced. For you to think that you have a right to take somebody's life because they decide that they don't want to put up with your madness anymore. There's something seriously wrong with that picture. But I do believe that the seeds towards that are planted in what we're talking about right now, where I buy you something, and so as far as I'm concerned, that's it. You owe me. You can't not reciprocate. That's a problem. And maybe that's where the seeds are planted that grow into the trees of men thinking that they have a right to take a woman's life because she didn't give them what they wanted or didn't continue to allow them to be abusive towards her, or whatever the case may be. I have a text that says, Michelle, very timely topic. I would entreat you to consider this as a regular show dedicated to relationships. I totally disagree with the gentleman. In our country, there is a disturbing link between material things and automatic ownership. I have seen this. I'm in other relationships and seen the signs personally prior to getting married, which had turned me off. If a man or woman volunteered to buy each other gifts or trips without them asking, that is no guarantee that the relationship will work out. There should be a mature understanding that it was just an in-kind gift, nothing else, no prelude to sexual favor or otherwise. We have to unlearn many antiquated mentality in our country. No wonder why we have so much angry individuals and gender-based violence in our country. That was sent to us via WhatsApp. The telephone numbers to call if you want to get in on this conversation. This all started by us talking about Galentine's Day, which is a day for women to celebrate their female friendships. And a friend of mine called me last night saying, I got a problem with this Galentine's Day thing. Because when women don't get to celebrate each other, why y'all got to separate a day just for that? And so that's how this conversation got started. The number to call, 326-0271. 326-0271. 326-0271 or 326-0272. 326-0272. Or our WhatsApp line is 824-9952. How do we fix what seems to be a disconnect between the male and female in our country? How do we fix the problem of people having issues with women being celebrated? How do we fix that? And you know what? I do agree that more males need to step up to the plate and do more things to celebrate males. I really do believe that that is lacking in our country. I remember a couple of years ago, there was a little boy who won the spelling bee, the national spelling bee. And he said something in the interview that they did with him on the news, and I was like, wow. And he was saying how proud he was for winning. And he said, because I'm just thankful to everybody for their support, because he says, how did he put it? He said, in our country, people really like girls. They don't pay much attention to boys. The girls just get all the attention. And so he was saying how much it meant to him to have won that. And I was like, wow, that's powerful, because from a male perspective, here he is saying, this a big deal for me, because, people just push girls. They don't push boys. And I thought, that is sad that is the reality in our country. So I really believe that there should be more celebrations for men. Definitely. There should be more celebrations where men come together and celebrate being a man. And I ain't saying they got to give each other cards and all that kind of stuff. That's pushing it a bit far, I think. But I think that there should be more effort put into recognizing the accomplishments of men in our country, recognizing the struggles of men in our country, and supporting men through networking and other events. I really believe that. Okay. But because we don't have sufficient people stepping up to the plate to do that, does that mean that women should shrink back and not celebrate themselves and each other? Is that what that means? I remember some years ago doing an interview talking about the work that we do with the Miss Bahamas organization, and how we try to teach the young women who come into our system that, number one, you are enough. And number two, you are worthy of love and celebration. And you're worthy. You are enough. You don't think that you have to shrink back. And a male called into the show and said, y'all always pushing women, pushing women, pushing women. What about pushing men for a change? And my response was, men need to step up to the plate, because a part of the problem that we have in our society is that a lot of men have a problem with women telling them what to do. So now you asking me as a woman, because I'm doing this thing for women and for young women, now I must go and do something for men? No, where are the men? That's not my place to do that. Where are the men? You all need to come out. And I'm not saying it's not happening. I'm just saying it should happen more. But don't tell me as a woman that I should put less emphasis on developing women or encouraging women or highlighting women because there's not enough emphasis being placed on their male counterparts. Whose fault is that? Why are you as males not doing more of that? And catching feelings when women do it. To me, that don't make any sense. So Shani says, a lot of these behaviors are modeled in the home. We have to start there first. I think it's fair to say most are under the mindset, he who holds the cash holds the control. See, this is why I agree with that caller, the female caller, about independence. And unfortunately, some of us like me have taken that to the extreme. But I believe in being independent. I believe in, and according to who you talk to, that's why some women are single longer, because they haven't learned the art of being needy. And I want to hear what y'all have to say on that. But I believe in independence, because I don't want anybody to be able to hold over my head, look what I do for you. You can't say nothing. You can't do nothing. I could do what I want to do because look what I did for you. No. And maybe there are some women out there, and I'm sure there are probably, who are enjoying the gifts and enjoying the perks, and doing so without having any intentions of going further in a relationship. So I'm not sitting here trying to make it sound like women are perfect in this conversation, because I know we have a lot of women out there who, I hate the term, the gold digger term, but we have women out there doing that. I get it, right? But at the end of the day, I don't want anybody to be able to say to me, you need to do this because look what I done do for you. And I'm not saying that, I don't enjoy getting gifts like anybody else, but nobody's going to be able to hold that over my head, because I too was taught independence. You're not sitting back waiting for somebody else to do it for you. Get it done. Now, that could be hazardous for a woman who's looking for. I tell you now, if you could take that approach, yeah, it may have some repercussions. Just understand that. But I don't believe in that I own you situation. I can't deal with that. I can't deal with that. And you'd be surprised at how many women are dealing with that, you know? So the numbers to call, 3260271, 3260271. And maybe I will do a series on relationships, because this is an important conversation for us to have. And again, I agree with Shani. It starts in the home. Many of these behaviors are being modeled in the home. And if we, if women who are mothering boys would teach them from a young age how a woman should be treated, and men definitely needed to teach their sons how to treat a woman properly. But if they weren't taught, then how are they going to teach what they don't know? But women raising boys need boys to understand how, I always say that you are molding that boy to become a man for somebody else to deal with. So you don't want to spoil him to the point where he becomes a nightmare for somebody else to deal with. That's the reality that some women are facing. They facing a man who has been raised by a mother who coddled him and spoiled him, and everything he got he wanted, and now when she have the nerve to say no, he goes into shock. What you mean telling me no? Shani says it's sad when boys are young, they are taught to man up and stop being a punk, so they don't learn how to express their feelings and needs. And when they get older, this creates a problem. This is where the anger takes place. That's a very good point. Men need to step up to the plate more. That's the bottom line. Stop looking at women and catching feelings because women are celebrating women. You do more to celebrate men. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. But I don't think that you should expect us to shrink back because there aren't sufficient men coming forward. I admire the work of the late Dr. Judson Eneas, who started the Gentlemen's Club. And in the Gentlemen's Club, they taught young men how to be gentlemen, which is a dying art nowadays. I mean, you just look at the way young men, carry themselves and, disrespecting the women in their lives, whether it's their mother, their sister, their girlfriend, or whatever. And it's because a lot of them just aren't being taught. And I really admired the work of Dr. Eneas, God rest his soul, and teaching young men how to be gentlemen. We need more people doing that kind of work. Is that a caller for the show? Caller, welcome to GPS.
Hi, thank you. Good afternoon.
Hi.
Just to make mention, what you're saying is absolutely true, especially with our boy children. We have to remind them that chivalry is not dead. And it's even in the way they speak to members of the fairer sex. As teenagers, they tend to speak to them in a certain way, and it's all modeled behavior.
Mm-hmm.
It's all what they've learned, and it's internalized, and it's important to remember in relationships and in marriages that men want to be appreciated as well. And many times when they're wooing us as women and, we're courting, they shower you with physical gifts and attention and all these things, and we get used to that, okay? But we don't always reciprocate. And many times they can feel underappreciated, okay? Saying things. Men love items.
They want to receive gifts too.
Yes, they do, and that's not a bad thing, and it takes us time as women to learn this behavior, or if we become used and we become desensitized to the fact that, yes, it's something that a relationship is a two-way street. You can't take. And if a man gives you something, many times they are expecting something in return. Steve Harvey, for example, he talks about this all the time.
Who does?
Pardon?
Who did you say talks about it all the time?
Steve Harvey.
Okay.
He talks about it all the time, and so it's something that we have to get ingrained within our young men, within our boys, how women should be treated, and women should behave in such a way that garners that treatment. Okay, you can't expect to act like a junglist or whatever, and be treated like a lady. It does not work that way, and we have to teach our children this, that respect is mutual among both parties, male and female. That love, that reciprocation, that's very important, and I do think you need a series on healthy relationships.
Yeah.
Because the verbal abuse and all of that is unacceptable, and the physical is even worse. But it transcended with us, in the way that we came to this hemisphere. Certain behaviors are ingrained and entrenched in our minds, and it has to be unlearned and replaced with respectable, honest behavior, and you're absolutely right. We have to learn to appreciate each other, mutually. And so I think that's really important, and I think that's why, boys need to see men modeling such behavior. Girls need to see mothers and women presenting themselves a certain way. A lot of our kids are coming from broken homes and families, and it is affecting society
It truly
as
is.
a whole. And we've got to take these things seriously. Our children are our most important investment, and so I think this is a very timely topic and conversation, and we need to continue, if we are to create a healthy society. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for calling. I really do appreciate it. Here's the thing. You're absolutely right, Colin. Here's the thing. I don't want you guys to sit here to think that when I'm talking about unhealthy, that dynamic, that I think it's healthy to be uber independent either, because that is not good for society either. She's right. If you don't have that example set for you, it's hard. So using my own personal example, my parents separated when I was still a baby, and they never divorced, but they never remarried. And so all of my life, I grew up watching my mother having to do everything she needed to do for her family. My dad lived in another country for most of my life, still does. And I watched my mother be the strong woman that she needed to be. I didn't get an opportunity to see her in the role of wife. And so I have grown up to be this uber independent person who sometimes it's very difficult for me to ask for help even when I need it. That's not healthy. I get it. I know. I keep telling you all of us are walking wounded. I want you to think because I sit in this chair that I am, Miss Perfect or whatever and got it going on. No, I got my own luggage. I got my own issues, right? So, but that is not healthy that is not balance. And the key is balance. That's the key, balance. And that's where we seem to be off center in this country. There's not balance. So I'm not saying that you have to. I'm not saying that it's healthy to be, super independent. Where I don't need a man. All this kind of stuff. I remember that song by what was her name? Who did Synovia? I think it was Synovia who did that song. You still need a man, no matter how successful you think you may be. You still need a man, right? So that was a song that she produced a couple of years ago. She put out a couple of years ago. We need balance. So that if there is a celebration like a Galentine's, we don't have to take an issue with that because, well, what happened to Guy and Dines? I just made that one up. Gals and guys. What happened to Guy and Dines? When a man going to be celebrated? I think, again, I don't think there's anything wrong with celebrating men, but don't look to the woman to do that. Don't look to women to do that. You guys need to step up to the plate and do that. But we do need balance in this country. So Gleaston says there's a gender war going on, and that is true. And this is what is so concerning to me. Because in war, there's always casualties. And if we're going to be having this war between men and women, we're affecting boys and girls who are then going to grow up to become men and women with this combative approach to relationships. And when I say relationships, I'm not just talking romantic. I'm talking just relating to another human being. That's what we do not need in this country. Okay, so my producer playing music. He trying to tell me something. We got to go to a break. When we come back, we're going to continue this conversation. This all started with us talking about Galentine's Day, women celebrating their friendships. Do you have an issue with that, and why? Let's talk about it on the other side of the break. Stay with us. And we are back. Welcome back to GPS Global Paradigm Shift on Global 99.5 FM. Michelle Malcolm in your company. And this show is sort of evolving into talking about male-female relationships and how we need to bring some balance to this whole question of relating with persons from the opposite sex. And one of our folks on Facebook said it's a gender war going on. So if that's the case, we really got to deal with this. And maybe I will do a regular series on relationships because we can't afford to be at war with the opposite sex. We just can't. We cannot. So Siobhan says, I know of men giving women and women giving men gifts. If one can't separate ownership, then it's a problem. I agree. But maybe that's just the way men are wired, or maybe that's the way they are trained. Which one is it? Is it wiring, or is it training, or is it both? Where they believe, boy, if you give her this and you give her that, you looking to get something, she owe you something in return. That's a serious thing. But I'm glad it's coming out though, because we need to know how the others are thinking. We need to know that. That's a problem. So the numbers to call 326-0271, 326-0271, 326-0272, 326-0272, or 824-9952 is the WhatsApp number, 824-9952. So Bertha says it's their egos. Is that what it is, Bertha? Their egos? I tell you one thing though. God puts something in the mail. He puts something in them where no matter what circumstance they find themselves in, they believe that they got a chance. Let me explain what I mean. I remember many years ago, at that time I used to drive a BMW, right? And so I pulled up to the traffic light, and there were these people weeding grass on the side of the road. There was an older woman and a young man. And so I stopped at the traffic light, and you could see him checking me out. So then the woman says to him, "Boy, she driving BMW, you weeding grass. You looking in that car." And all he do is cut his eye at the woman, I thought it was so funny. But there's something about that male that, boy, they can take a chance. They can take a chance. I don't know what it is with God putting them. They don't matter. You could be Queen Elizabeth sitting on the throne. I got a chance. I go in for it. So Shani says, women have always supported each other, even though some can be catty at times. You are right. Space has to be created for men to freely express without judgment. Men need support just as women do, probably more so. That's me putting that in there. They seek validation, acknowledgement, love, and the like. It's socially acceptable for men to respond in an aggressive manner. Man then has to break that stigma to be the change that they want to see. Replace the anger with love and acceptance of self. Know that we are never in control of, and Shani, that message was too long because it got cut off. I think you had to say another human being. But you're right, we do have to create that space. Because we have this thing in our society when men try to do certain things. Why would you dealing with? But you like money. You know how we go into society, and we have to stop that. We really have to stop that. Is that a caller for the show? Caller, welcome to GPS.
Hi, good afternoon, Michelle.
Hi, how are you?
I'm great. This is Christian calling from Freeport.
Hi.
I just wanted to comment on what you were stating. You were saying that a gentleman had said that he needs to celebrate men, and I agree with you that men need to step up to the plate. But I think that men need to also understand that within the society that we live in, it's been ingrained in society that men would have the upper hand in many ways. And that's the reason why we have to celebrate women, because for so long we weren't doing it.
True.
So long it was almost taboo to celebrate women. Like, for instance, even today, you tell somebody or you ask somebody, how do they feel about a female prime minister? And they would laugh the same way they would possibly laugh if you say, how do you feel about a female priest or pastor? It's certain things that we take for granted. It's become second nature, and we need to understand that just because we're trying to bring women up and to make them feel good about themselves, we're not trying to lessen men or push them down,
Right.
It's just that we're trying to even the playing field.
Yeah, I agree
And
with you.
that's it.
Thank you so much for calling. I agree with you totally, because there seems to be this misconception that if I am saying I want to elevate women, that means that I must automatically be pushing men down. One has nothing to do with the other. And that is a terrible misconception that we have. And I think this is why so many males are opposed to things like Galentine's Day, because they think that this is yet another way for women to celebrate themselves at the expense of men. One has nothing to do with the other. And I wish men would understand that. Just because I say that I want to have equity for women doesn't mean that men have to be diminished. It does not. I think there's room for both of us to stand side by side and build our society and our community together. It should not be where there has to be one over the other. That's just my personal opinion. And so, when you have this narrative of, oh, what more y'all want, and you're already leading all of the, the offices, and you're already in charge of this and in charge of that, what more you want? I think what men need to understand is what one of the things that women want is not to have a ceiling placed over us just because we happen to be born female. At least I speak it for myself. I know about the rest of y'all. But ever since I was a girl, I had a problem with you telling me that I can and cannot do something because I'm a girl. I got a problem with that. I got a real problem with that. Don't limit me. Don't put a ceiling over my head because I just happen to be born with certain body parts. To me, that's a problem. And to me, ideally, I'd like to see the day when we get to the place where there is no limitation on me because I'm a female. There is no limitation on, just let me be. Let me be. Let me make the contribution that I am able to make, regardless of my gender. Caller, welcome to GPS.
Good afternoon, and welcome to GPS.
Thank you.
I am not. I didn't catch your program. At the beginning, only just a couple of minutes. And are you saying Galentine's Day?
Galentine's Day instead of Valentine's Day. So it's a day that was created for women who weren't being celebrated on Valentine's, but they got together as girlfriends and celebrated each other. Instead of Valentine's Day, they had a Galentine's Day, and apparently it's a thing. It's now being celebrated around the world.
Really?
It's usually on February 3rd. Trust me, it was new to me too. It's usually held on February 13th, but this year, because of Super Bowl, they decided here in the Bahamas at least to hold it a couple of days later. So apparently there's a Galentine's Day celebration this evening. Where women are coming together to celebrate their friendships and celebrate each other.
And I think I caught the part where you talked. Did you say Boyadine's Day? No.
Did I say what?
Or Guyadine's Day?
Well, yeah, that was my
you said that's your coinage.
My attempt of being funny. Yeah.
Okay. Well, you see, the thing is, I feel that if we have Valentine's Day, and now we have Galentine's Day. And we're talking about equalization, or talking about, no, let me stop there, equalization. Let me talking about acceptance. Don't you think perhaps with us, if we're talking about celebrating each other, don't you think by creating the coinage Galentine's Day, we're perpetuating this. I'm not sure exactly how, but we're talking about wanting to accept each other. We're talking about each other being, feel that they're worth something and they're recognized and they're loved. Shouldn't we just be putting more emphasis on saying, let's celebrate each other, Valentine's Day, encouraging females to reciprocate and giving the guys a gift rather than coming up with the new word that you're putting more emphasis on the female, and consequently you're adding to it and you're leaving the man out.
But here's the thing.
You understand what I'm trying to say?
I hear what you're saying, but you're assuming that all people are in relationships. So they started this Galentine's Day thing for women specifically who aren't in relationships where they have somebody who they can give a gift to or receive a gift from.
No, I'm not making any assumption. I'm just speaking generally.
Right.
Because perhaps there is the assumption that at Valentine's that we give gifts. Men receive gifts, ought to receive gifts, and women receive gifts. So no, I'm not making the assumption. I'm talking about in terms of trying to, if that's possible, to level the playing field. I'm making you feel important. You're making me, as a woman, feel important. So if we decide, and I hear you say, I understand now. You say this is an international thing, but because you're making it, I think we're just perpetuating the problem in terms of us not recognizing each other. Do you think it's necessary for us to have a Galentine's Day?
Well, I just learning about Galentine's Day, so I don't live all these years without it. So, but I'm not gonna knock anybody who's
No,
holding it.
no, I just asking.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, because we don't want to create a gulf. We want to get we want to try and bring.
But there are some who would ask you, what's wrong with celebrating their friendships with their girlfriends? What's wrong with that?
No, I never said anything was wrong with it.
Right.
I didn't say that.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't say anything is wrong with that. If we're talking spreading love, mutual love, acceptance, and celebrating each other, why can't we emphasize getting together as we know it instead of creating another word that when you say Galentine's Day, it's exclusively for girls.
Yeah.
And besides, to be honest with you, I don't want nobody to call me a gal. I don't like that word.
Okay.
I don't like that. But when you say Galentine's Day, that's exclusively for a female.
Right.
You wouldn't include a man or a boy in Galentine's Day.
No.
However, with Valentine's Day, it could be male or female. I mean, it may not make sense to you, but like I said, I didn't hear the whole of your discussion today. I just heard because I am one of those. I'm a proponent that man and woman, boy and girl should be respected, should be shown love. And one of the things we mothers need to do is to show our own sons love. How many of our young men, as little boys, are used to having their mother or anybody put their arms around them and say, I love you. You're nice looking. You're handsome. But we put our arms around our daughters and tell them, I love you.
Right.
You're so cute. You're pretty. Boys want to be I'm losing my words. Boys want
Boys want love too.
Yeah, boys want that. But we don't do that enough.
I'll tell you something that happened in many years ago when my cousin's kids were little children. She has 2 daughters and a son, and they were little children at the time. And I went to visit them, and the kids ran to the door to greet me, and I kissed the 2 girls, and I didn't kiss the boy, and that boy started
He
crying.
remembers it to this day, right?
He started crying, and I said, "What's wrong? You kissed them, and you ain't kissed me." And I said, "Well, I thought you didn't want." So you are absolutely right. It's this thing that we have that boys are different, and you can't show them affection. But that boy took that he took that to his heart.
Yeah,
that I kissed his sisters, and I didn't kiss him.
Exactly.
So
I don't know.
We have to do better. We really
I don't know why it is we feel that little boys and men, don't like to
receive affection as well.
Be given affection, be told you're cute. Well, I don't know that I would tell a boy cute. I don't know if I would say it, but I mean, they want to be accepted. They want to be shown that affection. So I just wonder, I hope we here in the Bahamas, I don't know who started, I don't know who's having it and not really knocking it, but I hope that Galentine's Day don't be a caught on kind of thing, because trust me, with what we're having now, we don't need to create any more gulfs. We need to try to do a little better in bringing us together. Those females, those of us who are having children, especially if they're boys, we need to cuddle our boys, let them know they're loved, let them know they're appreciated, and perhaps next generation we might see something. I mean, I wouldn't be around, but it might change. Okay? Thank you, ma'am. And you're doing a good show.
Thank you. Thank you so much for calling. I really do appreciate that.
Right.
Thank you so much. She has some interesting points, very interesting points. It again, it stems back to to the home and the way we treat boys and girls differently, different expectations. And to a certain degree, it's understandable, but when it comes to affection and emotions, we should know that boys to men, no pun intended, need affection as well, and love and attention as well. Now she is saying that she hopes that Galentines don't catch on. It might be a little late for that because I think this is their third annual Galentines. Our guest said, who started off the show with us. So I guess it depends on where you fall in this conversation, whether or not you think that, as the last caller said, we have enough of a gulf as it is, and this is only going to add to that. Or do you think that this is a warranted celebration? That just because you ain't, you don't have your bae like everybody else in the office, or those who are pretending to have one by buying their own gifts and sending it to themselves, that just shows you the amount of pressure that is put on women, that somebody would go to that extent to take their money and go to the florist shop and order flowers and have it delivered to themselves. That don't make no sense, in my humble opinion. But that's just me. But yeah, that is a lot of pressure. It's a lot of pressure. And I guess the organizers, as she so well expressed when she first started the show, figured this opportunity for us to come together and celebrate us. Married, single, everybody's invited. All females are invited to come and celebrate your girlfriends. And for those guys out there listening to this show, understand this. A good girlfriend is a serious thing to a woman. So y'all need to understand that. Y'all need to understand that dynamic. That when you come across a very good friend, a good girlfriend, that is truly for life. And men need to understand that connection. And maybe that'll help in your relationship as well. If you understand, don't go there. Don't try separate a woman from her very good friends. We have a call on the line. Caller, welcome to GPS. You need to turn your radio down, please. Turn your radio down, please.
Good afternoon to you.
Hi.
I guess the caller was trying to say, when you see the flowers, it's Mother's Day. And when you see the crowds, them ugly crowds, it is Father's Day.
I hear you.
All right. So why, I agree that this was good, only for the gulf between the male and the boy in our society. Because I think the women are quite celebrated in our society. Crowds for Father's Day, flowers for Mother's Day.
Why do you think that is?
I don't know. But it's kind of odd that every year, the Ponciano Avenue and all this main street are covered with flowers. Comes Mother's Day. And then they covered with crowds come Father's Day. Is that fair to the fathers? Don't that make them feel inferior?
Yeah, I hear what you're saying, sir. And quite frankly, I think that is such a deep-rooted, challenging question, because I agree that more should be done, especially for the good fathers. And there are a lot of good fathers out there. I think a part of the problem is that you got a heck of a lot who are not good fathers, and the good suffering for the bad. I'm not saying it's right. I'm not saying it's right. But I think that's what's going on in our society.
Yeah, but we need to address it some kind of how.
We do.
I don't know how to address it. But the father do not, in our country, the father does not have the same celebration as the mother.
Yeah.
And that's kind of sad.
It is.
Because it takes two to tango and two to born that child.
Yeah, but to some degree, some men have to take some responsibility for this, because as I would have pointed out in the beginning of the show, 70% of households in this country are led by single women. Where
if you look at it,
where are they?
I hear you. But if you look at it politically, right, the fathers are in charge, eh? And they can't think their way out of this.
And what? I missed the last thing you said.
And they cannot think their way out of this. They're in charge. They have the power to do something.
Right.
Anything. Whatever crazy it may be.
Well, I remember hearing this before when somebody was telling a particular woman that her husband was in charge. And she said, he may be the head, but I'm the neck. There's there's one thing that women have, and women, we need to understand the power of this. Influence.
But they go to church every Sunday, and the Bible said the Father is in charge.
Hi, listening.
Do they obey that?
Like I say, he may
no,
he may
not
be
many
the
times
head.
they would obey that.
He
They
may
would
be
not say they come to some kind of position and they don't know which way to go and they don't know how to lean towards the Father because the Father of the house is in charge.
Right.
You know, they take every opportunity to take charge. Then God keep telling them every time they go to church, no, I made you made you to be his helpmate, M-E-E-T. But they go ahead and usurp that power. Is so wrong. That is devastating.
You know what? I'm going to plan a show on what does being a helpmeet means. What does that mean?
Right.
Not means. What does that mean? What does being a helpmeet mean? I can do a show on that.
That could be a discovery, eh?
Yeah, I really think that needs to be done because, again, at no point in the Bible does it say that we have dominion over another human being, and I think we really need clarification on what it means to be a helpmeet, because here it is. A lot of men take that to mean that you're supposed to follow me. We in a relationship, I'm the head, you follow me. But if you ain't going nowhere, where I following you to? If you ain't, listen, we only got 3 minutes left. That sounds like a show right there that I need to start working on and planning, because I think that's a part of the problem. Because let me tell you, a woman, I can just tell you right now, coming from a woman, we can find something to do. And if you call yourself the head and you call yourself the leader and you ain't going nowhere, we gonna find something to do. With or without you, quote unquote, leading. So if you say you want to lead a woman somewhere, you better be going someplace to lead her, eh?
You should be.
Okay.
You should be. And you hate to make assumptions. Not all men are going in the right direction.
Right.
And so that's a difficulty.
Yeah.
But not all are going in the wrong direction.
That is true.
Sometimes all the woman needs to do is have patience and see that the cake will be baked.
And encourage him.
Yes. Oh, I didn't understand that, Yes, now you do.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, anyway.
Thank you for calling, sir. I think I just stumbled onto what will be a very good series, I believe. So
I didn't hear that.
I said, I thank you for calling. I think I just stumbled on what will be a very good series. I'm going to start working on that. So
it needs more discussion. Our society is in trouble. I mean, some serious trouble.
Yeah.
And one of the problems is that they're saying that 47% of us on the poverty line. I believe it's 53% on the poverty line, because they do shame to say it's more than 50%. And that may be a topic for much more discussion.
Right.
All right.
Yes.
But like you say, we really do not study the word that closely as we should.
No, I can do a show on that. I need some answers on that myself.
I do. I would like to know what the fathers around the churches would say about it.
Yeah, I can work on that. Listen, we gotta go. But thank you so much for calling, eh?
No problem, Michelle.
Thanks to you and everyone else who gave us a call today. This was an unusual show today because I had to quickly make some adjustments, but we got through it. Thank you so much for being a part of the show today. Tomorrow is open line. Tomorrow's Friday, right? This week been going. By the time it's go so fast. Like, how it could be Friday already and we just start? Anyway, TGIF open line show tomorrow. We're going to talk about whatever you want to talk about, guys. It's all about you tomorrow. So make sure you tune in. It's 4 o'clock. I got to get out of here. Michelle Malcolm, thanks so much for tuning in. Have a good afternoon, everybody.
Global 99.5 FM reminds our listeners that the views and opinions expressed on this show are those of the host and guests and not necessarily the opinions of the owners of Global Communications Network and the operators of this radio station.
This is 99.5 Global FM, your number one source for